So the another next topic, diffraction at single slit. So see this picture. In this picture we already studied about the Young's double slit experiment, the same experiment here also. So all the parameters are the same, but we have to use only the Fraunhofer diffraction here. That's why we are using the two convex lenses, so L1 and L2. So because of this lenses, so here the diffraction can be occurred. So here in the Young's modulus slit experiment, so we have to study the fringes, dark and bright fringes. Here we have to study about the condition for maximum and minimum. So the minimum refers the dark region and the maximum refers the bright region. So already you know that here also the center portion can be occurred the maximum, that is the bright region can be occurred. So let's see the derivation now. So the condition for maximum, that is a dark, the condition for minimum, so that is a dark, maximum for bright. So first we have to study about the first minimum, that is the condition for P. The P point is, suppose we have to taken as the first minimum value. So we have to consider that region, that is AB is the length. Suppose the first minimum value we have to consider, that is considered as a two equal parts. That is, we have to split the distance, AB distance, as a two equal parts. So AB considered as a two halves, so A by 2. So the path difference of that value is delta is equal to A by 2 sine value, sine theta. So the general path for that value is lambda. So here we have to consider the half distance, so lambda by 2. So equate that value, so A by 2 sine theta is equal to lambda by 2. So the first minimum is considered as a sine, that is A sine theta is equal to lambda. So similarly the second condition for used for that is, suppose we have to consider as the four equal parts, AB distance is considered as a four equal parts, then we will get A sine theta is equal to 2 lambda. So that is a general formula. So then we have to find out the nth maximum. So we have to substitute instead of constant as a n. So A sine theta is equal to n lambda. So this is a general formula for minimum condition. And also for maxima, so we have to taken as the slit is divided into the odd number values. So A by 3 sine theta is equal to lambda by 2. So substitute and we will get A sine theta is equal to 3 lambda by 2. And for A by 5 and also A by 7, then we will get one of the value, that is A sine theta is equal to 7 lambda by 2 for third maxima, and it has the general formula, that is nth maxima we have to consider A sine theta is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. So here this term refers that the general formula for the maximum nth value. So and also the next one, diffraction in grating, it is also similar to that of the diffraction at a slit experiment. Here what is meant by first grating? Grating is one of the device, so which is a transparent material also, which can be opaque in the ruling, that is it has a fine lines of 6000 lines per centimeter. So that was made with the fine diamond pointer. So using the diamond pointer they have to made a 6000 lines per centimeters in a like a transparent material, that is like a glass material. So that is called the grating. In this grating, so the light can enter through the hole, that is acts as a slit like this. Then that line makes a obstacle like that. So each and every hole responsible to give the diffraction here. And also we are using the convex lens, then we will get the maxima and minima value. Due to the diffraction pattern, here the path difference is delta is equal to A plus B. A plus B is the element. So E is the element of the grating, that is A plus B. A represents the slit distance and B represents the, that is line distance. It can be more or less approximately equal distances. That element is referred as E is equal to A plus B. So now we have to write the path difference. So delta is equal to A plus B sine theta. Then it can be, then delta is also equal to m lambda. So Lambda is the wavelength, m is the order of the diffraction. So delta is equal to m lambda. M is the order of the diffraction. So one grating makes the 0, 1, 2 up to 2 orders. So it can maximum, it get the m is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. So condition for the 0 order maximum, substitute 0 value in the above equation, then you will get the central maximum value. Then for the first order maximum, m is equal to 1 and substitute the above equation and get the equation. Then second order is also similar like that. So condition for higher order maximum, we get the capital letter N. Capital letter N denotes the number of grating elements, that is ruling that the width of the grating. So N is denoted as 1 by A plus. So N is equal to 1 by A plus B. So 1 by A plus B. So that can be here, the general equation can be for the total, what is the condition for higher order maximum. So 1 by A plus B sin theta is equal to m lambda. So that can be 1 by n A. So the final equation is sin theta is equal to n m lambda. So this is the condition for higher order maximum for the diffraction in grating element. Next one, polarization. What is meant by polarization means? It is the phenomenon of restricting the vibration of light. The light can able to vibrate in all direction, but it has to restrict to vibrate in a single direction, that is to a particular direction perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. That direction is the propagation of wave, that is called polarization of light. Simply we have to say light waves can vibrate in all direction. In the polarization method, it can be able to translate in a single direction, that is called polarization. So these are the example, one of the example of this polarization. So unpolarized light, it can able to vibrate in all direction. So and unpolarized light, the direction of propagation may be forms in a perpendicular lines is there. So for a polarized light, it can able to pass through in a single axis of direction. So the polarization of light can be using a lot of techniques, but here in your portion they are given the 4 techniques here: selective absorption, reflection, double refraction and scattering. So the 2 terms are very important: double refraction and also reflection method. The reflection method is a Brewster's law. Let's see the method of the polarization by reflection, that is a Brewster's law. So here in this reflection, so when the incident beam is a vibration in all the direction, so it can be taken as x-axis and y-axis. The incident ray come and meet in the point at the center point. It can be partially reflected and also partially refracted. So we have to make the angles here. This is the incident. So the incident angle. So the angle of incident at which the reflected beam is plane polarized, called the polarizing angle IP. So this angle and this is also the IP value, equal value. Now the refraction is also takes place. It can be the RP. RP is the corresponding angle of refraction also. Now let's see the derivation for that. So IP here, IP then 90 degree, then RP is equal to 180 degree. So IP plus 90 degree plus RP is equal to 180 degree. RP is equal to, rearrange the equation, 90 minus IP, then substitute this value in the Snell's law. Snell's law, N is equal to sin I by sin R. So here polarizing angle IP divided by polarizing refraction angle, so RP. So substitute that value, sin IP divided by sin, instead of RP, 90 minus IP. So is equal to sin IP, sin 90 minus theta, cos theta. Like that, cos IP is equal to N. So sin by cos, tan IP is equal to N. So this relation gives the, so this relation is known as the Brewster's law, and this law states that the tangent of the polarizing angle for the transparent medium is equal to the refractive index. So here the polarizing light can be occurred by the reflection and refraction also method. So this is another method for the polarizing light for the double refraction method. So Nicol prism. Nicol is one of the scientists which is used to double refracting crystal method to form a polarizing light. So here one of the crystal is placed. So the calcite crystal is there. This calcite crystal is made an angle of 72 degree at the diagonal, one diagonal, and 108 degree at the another diagonal. In this diagonal, that is 108 degree diagonals can be cut into two halves of the crystal and it can be filled with the Canada blossom. That is also the layer of the Canada blossom. That is also one of the transparent cement like cement. So next, the polarizing A, B, C, D. So these are all considered as a crystal, that is calcite crystal with the diagonals are filled with the Canada blossom and the instant light can be incident on that. So it can be splitted into the ordinary ray and also the extraordinary ray. In this extraordinary ray, the double refraction can be occurred. So Canada blossom and also another crystal, it can be able to pass through the crystal. So because of this, in this ordinary ray, the light can be polarized. Plain polarized light can be occurred in this extraordinary ray.